thought that I told you, meet me in the middle. Could have been so simple. Baby, was it worth the day?
I first started taking music seriously in like 2018, 2019. Like when I first dropped my first song. That was one of the first songs I've ever like completed. 2020 is when I really was like, okay, I want to do music for real. It's just like such a funny moment in time because it was just like a little moment in my high school where everything was fun and I was like, you know, people were playing it, and then like I think it just did well organically, and then it just got like released radar or something. I'm like excited for another song to be my top song because that's like the babiest, tiniest version of myself.
If you change, so keep me in your pursuit day. Keep me in your mind open.
I think a lot of my music that's out and kind of the next stuff that I'm putting out, a lot of the lines have been inspired from relationship. Like story-wise, sometimes it's easier to communicate ideas through that language and like those emotions. But I think a lot of times like I have tried to use that language and tie it in with like more internal struggles or like broader ideas. So when I was a little kid, I would make songs like just keyboard, like shitty keyboard, like myself, like having my whole like in my whole little world. Flash forward middle school, I would do like some like garage band and like Novation Launchpad, or like just make like weird dance music and like really like corny pop songs that were like a little soulful. And then in high school I was in like a technology program and I got a free laptop and free Ableton, and then I just kind of took off from there. But like production for me is like, it was like really fulfilling because, and still is, because it's like I could take all my ideas and like things I felt in my head and like wanted to experiment with and like just put it all in one place and then like come out with a finished product. And I still love that, and I'm like learning a lot about collaborating with people and like catching like just catching the vibe instead of like constructing it for myself and like my own little bubble. So that's what I'm branching out in right now. But I love producing. It just like scratches this itch in my brain that like I can't really get from anywhere else. I don't think it's like, I think for a while when I wasn't able to like really explore it, like just cause, you know, you're not, like I wasn't in an independent place, like I was living at home, like just like in high school and stuff, and like you're not around like people who are like really invested in what you're doing. Like in that sense it feels like I felt really isolated, and sometimes I feel more fulfilled and more like I'm able to express myself when I'm really going like in a more introspective space, like making and like creating. But at the same time it's like sharing that energy with other people and like the ripple effect that you can cause, just even as simple as like someone listening to it and like not liking it, you know, like or like just like making them think about something or change something, or like the way that I've seen music bring people together for me like is the counter to that, you know, and just art, and then also just like the amazing friends and people I've met along the way, you know, because there's just a lot of really dope artists and not artists, and like I don't know, but yeah, it's so I don't know, I think overall like it's a good thing, and like it feels like a very therapeutic experience, you know. Yeah, well, okay, there's a couple reasons. So first reason was like for like kind of the whole year, like that was the wine that like my homies and I were like sipping on. We're like, oh, go get the Malbec, whatever. And then the second reason was that when I wrote the song, we're drinking Malbec. And the third reason is I think it's the song, the emotion of the song, like in full. I think it's like, to me, it's kind of about a drunken confidence, like bounce back, you know, where it's just like, man, like I just went through all this shit, you just put me through all this shit, and I'm just like really truly like heartbroken, but I'm like turning around, and like I have this huge false wave of, like, maybe not false wave, but like first wave of confidence after that, you know, like after a breakup you're like, man, you're not shit, like I'm the best, like you just taught me so much about myself, like because you really lost, you know what I mean, like that huge like wave of like ego and boost, but like also at the same time it's just like this frustration, it's like this drunk sloppy like yes, and then it like will wear off, but then I don't know, you'll get there eventually. Yeah, so both of those were edited by Marjorie Matamoros and then What They Say, GOAT, and they were like, the TLSD, like I kind of came up with a storyboard and I shot it with a guy named Amir who's a really talented videographer, and then met Marjorie for the first time and like she kind of took her style to it and like made everything cohesive and like fun effects, but in that sense it was kind of more directed by me just because like Marjorie wasn't like on site, but Malbec was like a little journey that we kind of took together. We had like a whole bunch of ideas for like a really big video, but like just with life and timing and like kind of how we were feeling, we were just like, okay, let's just make a visualizer. And we woke up really early in the morning and like one time in the evening and like just shot some stuff that felt really natural, and then she came again and like her styles developed a lot in really cool ways and she just like put her touch on it, and so it was really cool. It was fun to see how it came out because I think she's just had like a really incredible vision and into my like connecting with my songs, and like there's moments like we've worked on like a lot of other stuff too, and like there's just moments where I'm like, wow, like you, like the way that I heard that in my head, or like the detail I put into it, like in Ableton, like producing it, like you had like the same detail like visually in like a way I wouldn't have thought of, so it's like it was really cool and really fun to work with her. So keep it slow, I could keep you balanced, baby. I am trying to get more like completely honest when I write my songs, because like that's like even like honest with like how I can use my voice, like, but I don't know, because it's hard, like there's this like protective barrier of like truth for some reason, like in my art that I've like slowly been like growing out of in a way. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to not overthink it. I think one thing that's been really helpful for that is like now I live alone, like in a studio apartment, so just like me and my thoughts and my songs and my cats, and I'm just like damn, like they're gonna know exactly what the fuck this is about, but like I don't care. Like Malbec is such a fuck you in proximity, like and I just kind of let go of it because I'm like this is bigger than, you know, this is bigger than just like a social circle or like a blip in my life, you know, even though it's like a lot of emotions, a lot of experiences, like this is just like tiny moment. 2022, 23, we're calling bitches out. We're saying names, we're saying addresses, we're saying social security numbers, we're about to license plates, all of that.